Welcome back to Tyler Talks. I've showed this deck before, so I know I won't go too crazy into it. But this is a updated Welcome to the Wilderness, but it's a concept. One concept from Jeremy Chambers, and then one concept that I've talked about before on my channel, but I haven't shown. And then ironically enough, I was talking to Jay, and he brought up this concept, and I said, yeah, that was on my video, or that was on my channel a while back. I just haven't shown it yet. And then he asked me not to, so here I am. I'm just kidding. He said, don't, maybe keep that at bay for a little bit. I was like, I already put it out there, so. And I've been needing to do another video. Sorry, Jay. A couple concepts in here. We do not like Holy Holies, so I did switch out Famine for Humble. I love Famine in this build. You could also play Pharaoh's Daughter as Evil with Plague of Hail. Famine, Plague of Hail, stuff like that. I keep harping on the current state of redemption and more so the players. I think players equate speed to power, and that's just not true. Getting your resources is great. Taking away the resources and stopping them from getting resources is also great. And having a blend of both is really good. So for here, I brought in a few different concepts. We want to keep the opponent on our toes and have a lot of different ways to attack and be able to block. I do like having Sheol and Murderous Command along with Rebellion and Christian Martyr and Stocks and Deserving Scorn. And Madness. I should be able to get rid of a lot of heroes and add to battle. Pot of Mana, having that active, and then going into your activating an artifact, Rebellious Israelites, is really good. I did take out 3 woes for Israel's Rebellion. 3 woes is amazing. That can always come in. So it's just a matter of, you could take out Angel of God, but I really like the add to battle Angel of God. I'm getting the big negate on the 7/12 with usually a Faith Unbowed. It's awesome. So we're going to show a couple concepts. And I want you to think, like, when you're playing an offense and a defense, if your opponent can see your hand, or they can script what you're playing, like they can kind of see, okay, well, they're playing this brigade, they're more than likely playing these cards, then they're going to know how to better attack you and defend. If you can do strong rescues and blocks while being non-scripted or not being able to not be predicted, then you have an advantage. My last video I talked about purple-brown being so good because the opponent simply doesn't know what the cards do. Persians are amazing. Now that Zeresh is out, like that, Gomer, Queen Vashti, Zeresh, or it's Gomer, King Xerxes, and then Queen Vashti to Zeresh to Haman is just insane. Persian Horsemen on there too. It's just a lot of value, really good blocks, and you're hitting their territory, you're hitting all sorts of stuff. So really like purple-brown. But the point being is playing something that is strong is even better when the opponent doesn't know what's coming. So we tried to incorporate that. You need to incorporate that mindset into every deck you're building, to not be scripted, to not be predictable. And what we did here, like I said, giving credit to Jeremy. I know he played this deck against his brother, and it didn't do so well because he lost the main aspect. But Jeremy's deck was predicated on peace. So I can get out peace earlier. See heavy covenants. I had to take out You Will Remain for what I'm doing in this offense. But I brought in peace, and what we're doing is we're getting to a quick Book of the Covenant, quick Covenant of Prayer, and we're setting up a peace play on Aaron. And what we can do is we can go Aaron to Moses to Nashon with peace and activate Pot of Mana and have a toss everything. I also use Book of the Covenant with New Covenant and I can bring in 24 Elders, Zipporah, Chosen Warriors, or her, and I could really make a strong band with Peace. And Peace is CBI. I always put it on Aaron. He starts the band. I could put it on Moses as well. And I don't care if I lose Peace. I know Jeremy's deck was like built around this. It's so easy to pop a hero in a territory now. This is usually just one attack for me, and the opponent's going to do everything they can to get rid of that hero with Peace. And then you lose Peace, and that's it. And that's okay. That's one very strong attack that the opponent doesn't see coming, that they have to answer. And I do it early enough to where they have to answer it quickly, or I will just walk through and win. The other thing is having the new Covenant to add to my Wilderness band with 24 Elders. That's another thing that I've done before. That's very easy to do in this deck. That gives you a very strong attack. The next thing I added was Nashon, to where I can do New Covenant and have this big band, but I can bring in Nashon and activate Pot of Mana. So I can do this big band with 24 Elders at it. So that's also very good. I've talked about Nashon before. Now I have Moses and Elders. So I have a 3/4 that's CBN. I get the band, and it's CBN by Moses. And I can band in Nashon, and I could activate stocks. And that's extremely difficult for the opponent to stop, especially when I have Pot of Mana up. Just being able to... Well, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that, sorry. Pot of Mana won't work for the band. But that is okay. We can do other things. Either way, I like to band in Nashon and just activate stocks. And put you in SI. And what else do I have? The add to battle. Oh, and the last concept is why I made this video. I've shown this same 1-2 punch for the Infinite Plague Hail back in the day. This is a lot easier. It's the same concept of Eternal Covenant with Oath. And all we're doing is we're keeping Pot of Mana active. I forgot I need Tabernacle in this. I took it out. Tabernacle has to be in. We keep Pot of Mana active. And Book of the Covenant. And once we use Blood Avenger, we just play Blood Avenger as a hero. And then we activate Oath and bounce him. And we always have Pot of Mana active. And we just have a Blood Avenger with Pot of Mana active at all times. We really like Humble with this. And even if they, Holy Holies us and we don't have hand advantage, or they rescue Humble, it's still just something else they have to get around, where I can constantly just draw 2, die. Pot of Mana, you can't band, your hero's dead. So that's really good. I was trying to get the deck down and forgot you absolutely need Tabernacle in here. And that makes me want to do Temple Dedication. And now we're at far too many cards. Maybe take out Moses and Elders over there. Take out Foreign Wives. I hate to do that. Melechite Slave. And bring in 3 Woes. And take out our Murderous Command. Because it saved me 2 cards and gave me a 3 Woes. Which stinks, but if for some reason they don't put Holy Holies on Tabernacle, then I can 3 Woes and get rid of like an Eliezer. But that allowed me to bring in Temple Dedication and Tabernacle, giving me 3 Woes and still maintaining a 54 card deck. I want it to be 50 cards, but that's okay. We're just testing. It is heavy support. When you have 5 fortresses and sites, and covenants and curses and artifacts, you're going to have over 50 cards. I could cut a hero, and I could cut an evil character. Um, I have plenty of ways to characters, so I could cut if needed, like probably Zipporah. Um, but that's okay. So I'll go into it and see if it works. It's not going to be like I said, I'm not going to do a full-on dissection. Probably keep this video at probably 20 minutes just because I've shown Wilderness before. Mostly keep our brigades down, like a Matthew when it hit us, but we have Pharaoh's daughter. So if we were able to go first, we really want to be worried about Matthew. You're going to see less and less Matthew. So we have darkness, which means we have Pharaoh's daughter. I will say this is one of the most consistent builds in the game. Not this exact build, but the concept, just Wilderness in general. Oh, I already have Pharaoh's daughter. So now I can just get any evil character I want, which usually is Wandering. I guess we have Wandering too. Did I even look at my hand? Okay. Now we're going to immediately go into a search. Like I said, I really love Plague of Hail and Famine. That's those cards that you get the negate, you get the discard top 5, you get it turn 1. That could be game changing. And if you do give them Famine, it's just, that is really hard for them to recover. So let's see. So we can put down Pharaoh's daughter, which means we have Moses. I've played this deck before with Delivered because it's so easy to get Moses turn 1. That could also come in. It just depends on if you're okay with having just a Moses for Delivered. You could always discard it with Prosperity. So I have a few things here I can do. A lot of people, I will say, would play Love Righteousness to get a hero, so we can look. Like we could have the Zipporah band, we could have the Protection, or we could have her turn 1. Going into a her turn 1 is nice with 3 Exodus heroes, and then her would be the 4th. That would be really good. That's a top 4 discard an evil card from your deck turn 1 is very strong. Or I look at mine and I get to take. But it's nice to keep this Love Righteousness for later too. So just consider that if you're really reliant on a hero, then just have ways to get it back, which we have Tabernacle, so we don't care. We will go into that early her and just immediately put pressure on them. If you are running a Pot of Mana deck, you can turn this into a Pot of Mana deck. Like, just full commit to the Pot of Mana. You could absolutely play Mount Sinai, and you could either limit them or just grab a bunch of resources. So, Moses and her and Mount Sinai, it's really good. But once again, Pot of Mana, Plague of Hail, her, all the, like, just constant pressure on the opponent with add to battles. You're going to win more games than you lose. As soon as you start playing it correctly as well, you should win a high majority of your games. Limiting what they can do and capitalizing on what you can. Pretty consistent. So remember, we want all our Exodus heroes down. And we do want to attack with Aaron first turn. So now we're good. We got Aaron, we get our book. So we are ready for the Peace Band next turn. Then we go to Moses. We get one of my, these are some of my favorite cards. Wheel Within a Wheel, Increasing Numbers. I really like cards like that. And then we go to her. I still want to do a Wilderness that can easily go to Jeremiah. I really like where you can do a white clay with Jeremiah, and you're just tossing the next on everything. Like it's insane. So I really like aspects like that. So let's see. So from here, we can reveal the top 4 of their deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just go ahead and discard an evil card. They pretty much have to have like an unsuccessful or a scattered type card, or else I just go into the negate and take. Now from here, I'm not done with Aaron though, because I'm going to go straight into a peace band after this. So we're trying to think from a peace perspective, like who do I want in my new Covenant band? Now I like having Zipporah as a backup because they're quickly going to target Aaron with peace. And then I just Zipporah to Moses to her and just keep hitting them. Peace is going to toss their enhancements. Zipporah is going to hit their deck. So, and who knows? Maybe we should bring in Pharaoh's Daughter as evil with Plague of Hail, or bring in Plague of Hail. I like having the CBP, but I do think just having that turn 1 Plague of Hail on that band is really good. We can turn over our book just so we know it's down and safe for the most part. We don't need to put anything down. We don't have any sort of unity. The only exchange goes to deck, so we don't need a character down for wandering. And if they don't ban turn 1, we just go straight to a Blood Avengers and die. And we already have our Blood Avenger ready to go, and we have our Book of the Covenant. So we don't have any upkeep triggers. And now we can take an Exodus hero from deck or reserve. And just like that, I think we're out of heroes, right? This is why on one of the last podcasts where Jay was on it talking about the Thomas J. Chambers and how his deck only has 7 heroes. Well, look, I've got everything. Darkness can get you Blood Avenger. You have Lost Souls that can get you Pharaoh's Daughter, Darkness, and the Egyptian one if you want to play that, or Lawless. There's so many ways to pop out Pharaoh's Daughter, which pops out a Moses, which pops out increasing numbers. You quickly get to whatever heroes you want. We can flip over book, and we can go to deck or reserve. Now from here, we just go to Cup of Prayer, banish, peace, and then we can put peace on Aaron. From here, we don't have our pot of mana for Nashon. I don't think we need it. I think we show them that aspect later, but before we attack, we want to maximize our her, so we want to give him an extra +2. So we put our heroes down. I am susceptible with heroes being down. I don't have any protection, but we have a humongous her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we look at the top 7, discard an evil card, and you're in a toss battle. What I like to do here, obviously pick off dominance, but if I see any enhancements that hurt my bands, I take them with her. So I'm vastly limiting what you can do. Remember, I'm tossing everything, or I'm doing a 24 Elders New Covenant band. So I'm looking for your CBNs, your CBPs, or your big numbers. So if you kill Aaron, you still got to get around what I have. And then Moses gets to go to deck. And it really doesn't matter at this point what I take. I just don't see that getting blocked. Turn 1, you got to do like a Herod the Great. And that's another reason I have stocks in here too. It's like Herod the Great stops me. But yeah, very, very strong. I could go ahead and put down an evil character now. From here, they could attack me. And you just draw one, exchange. And we're going to put them in SI. They may discard a good card from hand. And usually they do, which I love, because then I just go into Dathan and take an OT Brown card from reserve. I don't give myself a lot of targets, which I hate. I did want more targets, but that's just having Faith Unbowed. That's having 3 enhancements plus 4 covenants. There's really no other room. I have the Interrupt, but I don't have anyone else to band it to, so the only thing I have, they had to discard a good card, prevent the next, and have a Zealothat Sin. So once again, I am limiting what you can do with preventing and making you discard. So my only upkeep trigger doesn't proc right here. I don't have the covenant on it. You need to know your upkeep triggers. I constantly talk about the upkeep because that's the one thing I see people miss is their upkeep. And I think it's because people forget what cards trigger their upkeep. So I think that'll help you. If you're missing your upkeep, look for your cards that trigger the upkeep and then put them next to your deck. So now from here, I can go ahead and play Sheol. I can play Tab. We do want Book in Tabernacle. And we get to take one. I can get out Blood Avenger here and get my Blood Avenger ready to go. It wouldn't be a bad move by any means. Having him down as a hero is good. But I have a really strong attack going. I can shuffle this card and give Moses a band to anyone. I don't need my offering of wrongdoing. And I also have stocks. So I can get around anyone you have. If you have that Herod the Great that blocked me last turn, I can get around him. Or I don't need to do anything with that. And I can just activate offering of wrongdoing and prevent your evil enhancements and territories. Because I don't play evil enhancements and territories. So it's really whatever I want. If I want to keep that stocks as the add to battle, then I can do that. Like the add to battle off Nashon is another really, really good way. Oh, that's what it is. If I have an add to battle and pot of mana's up, I can add to battle and add Nashon and activate stocks. That was another video where I had You Will Remain. That is a very good, very sneaky play where they just had to block you in battle, and then at the end of the battle, you have You Will Remain up, they get rid of you, and boom, you Nashon stocks them. So, from here, I can go into Temple Dedication and give Moses protection and 24 Elders. It just depends if they could do anything about peace. If I want, I could end the chain to 24 Elders. Or I can end the chain to Zipporah. Because remember, Moses has the new covenant. Or I can go to Chosen Warriors and get out an enhancement. This is another way to add Nashon to battle too. So it's really whatever I think they can stop. If for some reason they stopped Aaron, then I would just go into a 24 Elders band. While it's a full-on toss battle, more than likely would bring in, which it's not bad to bring in 24 Elders, because you negate their evil character abilities, and you get the 12-12, which is huge. They have to pick apart an 8, a 10, 4, who cares, and a 3, also who cares. So yeah, I'd probably bring all of them in, and I can get my Angel of God ready for my add to battle, which would presumably be in a turn or two. So we have this massive add to battle, peace band. And I get to once again look at the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and discard an evil card. Yeah, that's insane. So now from here, they have to get through the rebellious Israelites again. I don't have too much. I had the negate and withdraw. That's it. From my reserve, I like to leave Madness in there for rebellious Israelites. And I have a grumbling to where it would just be a one-on-one, my 12-11 versus yours. But they could use Angel Lord at that. I wouldn't be able to use Shield if I did the band. So I would probably lose a Lost Soul there. Still don't have the Covenant for active, so I don't get the draw one. I know I don't have any other upkeeps. I did miss my Moses trigger. I didn't look in a deck for New Covenant. Whenever I do this combo and I shuffle New Covenant, I use Moses to just snag New Covenant. So the whole point is to just have New Covenant ready, and then your Book of the Covenant keeps producing resources. So for here, I can now go Eternal Covenant and pop down Blood Avenger. I also like having Storehouse out early, and I just didn't get it. But if I have Storehouse out early, that really helps me just snag Oath of Purity with Eternal Cov. And then I can give the band, let's say they got rid of Air and Peace. So I can give the band to Moses or her, doesn't matter. You'll see I'm using the color guard here, and I'm not using the Lost Soul that creates a token. Instead, I opted for Covet Hopper, and that's because I have Israel's Rebellion in here, and I also want to covet their Distressed. I want my Indentured and my Moses' parents, Amram and Jochebed, to work, and I also want to take Distressed to where my Pharaoh's daughter works. If Distressed is out, it's a prevent, and she's only a CBI. So as for here, I have all sorts of stuff. And I would play Temple Dedication, and I'd get the protection. And I would do a band here. I won't forget Moses this turn. Oh, and I take this from deck. And then 24 Elders would do... usually I'll shuffle what I searched with Moses, being New Covenant, but I don't need offering a wrongdoing up. And now I have a Moses and a 24 Elders that are protected. That's essentially CBN protection because it's out of play for the previous phase. I'm looking at top 7, and I'm negating evil cards. So pretty good. I don't need extra brigades in my hand. I can put down New Covenant. I like to keep a hero in my hand. If I needed to, I can go out with Dathan. And remember, a generic character can re-enter battle. So if somehow I could band in rebellious Israelites, and the correct play would have been last turn, was pushing out rebellious to give me a chance to shield rebellious back in. And it is generic, so their ability would also reactivate. So for here, that's something to where you need to know your deck and kind of script your plays better. I was trying to just leave the bigger person in battle, but that's me not knowing exactly what the situation is. But the better play is to, unless you absolutely need the numbers, which you don't because You could shield the numbers back in. Pushing Rebellious out to bring Rebellious back in off shield is a very good play. That is, once again, that's one of those non-scripted plays. And sometimes the best deck does not win. I'll say a lot of times it's the better player that knows their deck and has the execution. I said I wanted to keep it at 20 minutes, and I'm 10 minutes over that. So for here, we can prevent the next, take something from reserve. I don't need to. We can band any number, which we like to just band in theirs. We can still put them in special initiative and activate a curse. All just depends on what's out there. More than likely, these two guys wouldn't be alive this whole time, but I can hope. Covet them. So Covet would come down, no stars. Covet goes over. Upkeep, I know I have a Covenant this time, so I get to draw one. I do want my storehouse. And then from here, it's rinse and repeat, you know. We don't have pot of mana, but we're not really drawing a bunch. A lot of our drawing we can get off a big Rebellious chain, or we can get some draws here or there. But we're not drawing a lot in this offense. You can incorporate more, but this is just constant pressure and gaining resources, but not through drawing. I could always Tabernacle back. I feel like I need to have Philosophy in here. That's an oversight on my part. Just bringing in Philosophy just to get back with Tabernacle is elite. It is insane how good that is. Now, if I want to, Book of the Covenant can grab Oath, and I can bounce Blood. And I also don't need Eternal Covenant active anymore. So I can bounce Blood, flip this, shuffle, give someone the band, and then go right back to the band. And I can shuffle Eternal Covenant if I want to, because Book of the Covenant goes right back to it, and Moses can go to New Covenant, and Book of the Covenant can go to deck. I was going to say because Aaron's out, but oh well. So it's not necessarily a rinse and repeat offense. Between all the add to battles, 24 Elders, and the Aaron Peace band, and the last bit is just getting Pot of Mana out. And the last bit of it is like the Aaron, even if it's pretty much has to be Aaron, Peace, Moses, her, Nashon, flip up Pot of Mana after you attack. So it goes like this. This attack, which you could also do with New Covenant. You could have New Covenant active. This is just win more at that point, but you can bring in Zipporah, bring in Chosen Warriors, 24 Elders, but you have this huge band where you're hitting their resources. I like to bring in Zipporah because you're just hitting their resources very hard. This gets shuffled, and you flip Pot of Mana. They have to get around all that, and what they do is they're like, all right, I got to get around Aaron. Cool. Now you get around Aaron. And then I can go back to this band with Pot of Mana. New Covenant, flip up Pot of Mana. It's also very, very good. Between my curses, I can keep you off your negate neutrals. Your heroes that negate neutrals, I can keep you off of them with... oh, no, I couldn't. If you have negate neutrals out, you would negate my neutrals. I couldn't keep you off them with Deserving Scorn, so I'd have to look at other ways to get rid of your heroes. Probably Blood Avenger. Just come out with Blood Avenger, try to win the battle, and then discard your negate neutrals. So there's a lot here. We do have 3 woes. If I have to negate that neutral guy, Christian Martyr him. There's definitely stuff there. So yeah, that's it. Very strong attacks, and that's kind of how you open up your offense more and more. Like I said, I've put this deck out there before, but it constantly improves with new attacks. I've won a lot of games with this deck against a lot of people, and I just keep improving it. I keep finding new ways, even when I'm winning games. It's like, okay, what could I have done better? How could I attack better? How did I stall? I don't love the defense in this build. I think it should just be gray, and I lose Israel's Rebellion. I think that's probably one of the stronger decks in my mind, because then it doesn't care about Holy Holies. And originally I had like 40 years and Israel's Rebellion in here, so I kind of kept the brown. I don't think you need the brown. And if I'm having Tabernacle and Pot of Mana, I might as well have Philosophy, right? So I'll probably put the gray defense in and post that deck on both Discords. We have the other Discord called Z-Temp, and I think the white and gray with this is very good as long as I explain the offense. The defense is self-explanatory. Gray is also very fast, and you get Philosophy and Nicodemus and Denarius with your Emperors. It's very, very, very good. So I hope you all enjoyed, and this was, once again, I want to shout out to Jeremy for the Aaron Peace Band, to Nashon. I use Nashon. He does it a different way. I really like it being all white with New Covenant. That just opens up the offense to all sorts of stuff. So I really like this deck in general. I think that's it for Wilderness. I have some other. I'm playtesting the new set right now. I'm trying to heavily going into the new set, so I'm less deck building, and then I should be preparing for Scroots, Scrolls and Roots. I should be preparing for that, but playtesting needs to be my priority, so that's what I'm making sure to do. I haven't prepped at all for Scroots, just doing playtesting. But that's also where my mind is in the background. So I haven't done as many decks for current rotation. So sorry for the videos, but holidays and everything. So I hope you all enjoy. Like I said, I'll put out a different deck list, but it's going to have the same concepts of the offense, and I'll put that online for y'all. So thanks for watching, and I hope to have a video probably next week. See y'all.